Hollywood and Vine. Awesome, that's a good spot. And I'm here with Katya Duft. This is actually the beginning of the 181 if you're heading towards Glendale, Pasadena, Altadena. Right. And this is a historic part of LA too. This is a rad area. I love this stretch. Hollywood and Vine. This is like where all of Hollywood was back in the day. And Katya Duft, of course, is the curator of Tales from the Bus, which is one of the great Facebook pages devoted to transit travel. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And take it away.
Thank you. So I actually really like this location behind me because most of my stories happen around Hollywood anyway. So today I want to talk about people showing off their art in the wrong place and in the wrong time. You know, we live in Los Angeles, right? There are so many actors and singers, and so many of them are talented, and probably some of them just can't help showing it off even on the bus or on the train. This one day I was traveling from the gym. For some reason, all these stories happen to me when I'm tired. I don't know, maybe I attract them. I was coming back from the gym when this lady shows up and she's listening to her music in her headphones and she dances along and then she finds a seat. But honestly, the bus is full of those tired people coming back from school or from work. Some of them have children with them. So the girl decides it's a great idea to sing along as well. And her singing is so loud, and it's not bad, it's just so loud, like somebody is listening to a stereo. At first, people are like, annoying. And then they start thinking, nah, maybe we should talk to her about it. So one of the gentlemen taps her on the shoulder, and he's like, excuse me, my child is sleeping. We're just coming back from work. Could you please be quiet, okay? Maybe don't sing along to music. She's like, excuse me, this is a public place. I do whatever I want, right? You're on a public transit. So he has no other choice, right? But the driver gets annoyed too. So at some point, he comes up to her and he says, excuse me, lady, but it's really loud and it's public space. It means you have to be respectful of others, right? It doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. That's when she starts crying. Poor girl, she starts crying and saying, that's because of people like you that real artists don't get appreciated. I wouldn't be singing now if I wasn't excellent. Believe it or not, but I went all the way to the second round of American Idol. I'm talented. Why would I be singing if I wasn't talented? Why don't you want to listen to me? So she starts crying and leaves the bus. Poor girl, but you know what? There is time and place for everything, so maybe she should find a better venue for her talent. That's just sad, but sometimes people don't really show up their talent, they're just crazy. I was on the bus, once again tired, and this man just shows up with his drumsticks, sits very close to me, and plays air drums. He's all in his music. It wouldn't be fun. Nobody could hear what was in his earbuds or in his headphones. But the problem is he was pushing me. He was pushing the guy next to me, playing his air drums. I was like, whatever, I don't want to say anything. But the guy next to me was like, excuse me, sir, you push me. Stop pushing me, okay? You keep pushing me right in the ribs. It hurts. So the guy would take his earbuds out and be like, well, what's going on here? Sir, you're hurting me. Stop doing this. Oh, I'm so sorry, actually. You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm just so into it. I'm practicing. My band is playing a show tonight. Actually, here's a flyer. Would you come to my show, sir? We're actually really good. And the guy says, fine, I'll come to your show. Just please stop air drumming because you're hurting me. He says, fine. Okay, so the show is tonight, right? I'll see you there. He puts his earbuds back in. He starts air drumming again. At this point, the other guy can't tolerate this anymore, so he just gets up and he throws all the flyers in his face and he walks to the back of the bus and he says, his music is probably shit anyway. But this is still moderate compared to what happened to me just last week when I was coming home on the red line. And once again, I was exhausted. I couldn't wait to get home. I even closed my eyes. I usually never sleep on trains, but that was one of the exceptions when I felt like I should probably sleep a second. Just when I closed my eyes, I suddenly felt like a gust of wind passing by me. I opened my eyes. There is this woman, middle-aged woman, very skinny, in very short skirt. She just rushes towards the pole, the metal pole in front of the doors on trains, and she just starts dancing around it. Dancing not elegantly, not nicely, not like a stripper, not like a dancer, but like some kind of a young stallion or something. No elegance, just some kind of madness. So people look at her like, whoa, what's going on? She looks like she's on drugs. So people actually turn away because they feel embarrassed for her. And she just keeps going round and round and sings along to her own song or whatever is going on in her head. And at some point, she gets so into it and her emotions are so intense, her underwear falls on the floor. Her G-string ribs falls on the floor. She keeps doing this. People are like, oh God, oh God. Nobody tells her anything because we're all too embarrassed for her. And it's gross too, so we all look away. And she sees another pole on the other end of the car, so she rushes to another pole and keeps dancing in the other end of the car. Then we reach one of the stations, the doors open, an old couple gets in, and they stop right by the pole where she danced before, and they start talking to each other, and they hold onto a pole, and the old man suddenly sees something on the floor, which is her underwear. So he takes his glasses off, he looks down, then he kicks it a little bit, and then he tells his wife, what is it? Is it a handkerchief? What is it? His wife looks down too, and then she's all embarrassed. Then she goes, oh shit, no, it's somebody's soiled underwear. It's a G-string, it's gross. Oh, what is it doing here? And her husband is like, that looks sexy. Why don't you ever wear things like this, honey? She gets so upset with him, she started actually beating him with his purse, saying, gross, this is so disgusting. And this looks so absurd to all of us. We're all tired, we're all just trying to get home. And then we see people losing their underwear. So people, there is time and place for everything. If you're good at dancing, great. If you're good at singing, perfect. But maybe please don't do it in the evening when people try to get home from work. And that's all for today. Thank you.